I don't think you're aware of the blessings that you actually do possess. I don't think you're aware that you walk around with a divine piece of technology that is unrivaled in this world. We are all blessed with the power of thought, the power of mind, the power of using your mind to direct your body in a way you want. We're given free will. We're given the ability to truly be ourselves if we cut out all the fat. From a young age, we're blessed with a body that repairs itself, that a mind that regenerates, a mind that produces thought to get what we want accomplished. We were given a tool that no other organism on the earth could even fathom or understand. I mean, shit, we don't even understand it ourselves. And what do we do with that? We play pinball. We play space pinball. What I'm trying to say is, it's the equivalent of getting a computer in the 2000s and only using it to play space pinball. For all the real ones, you might be knowing which game that I'm talking about. Or you could just change it to whatever game you want that you used to play when you were younger. It's like getting a computer in the 2000s that has functionality of doing so many things. You could paint on it. You could record voice memos. You could make music. You could create documents. You could create spreadsheets. You could write code. You could run small time simulations. You could do so many things on this computer. Yet, you take such a great piece of machinery, and what do? You play games. If you're a little bit more intellectual, what do? You decide, okay, I want to move to the next level of games. I'm going to play solitaire. I'm going to play a game that takes a little bit more of my neural capacity, but I'm going to play solitaire. What do I mean by that? I mean that you got all these blessings that you could be using to sharpen your sword, to better your craft, to get better in general. And I'm not saying it's our fault. We have all these gifts that get suppressed in the world, that, people from a young age will ridicule you if you try to do something that you're passionate about. A lot of times people ridicule anyone that tries anything. From a young age, we're kind of taught we're taught that if you act cool, that's the best course of action. Acting like you don't care, that nothing phases you, is revered from a young age. And anyone that shows any sort of semblance of passion about anything that other people might not gets bullied. It's so dumb. It's something that it's a mechanism that doesn't cultivate people's gifts. I've met so many gifted people throughout my life. I've met people that are musically gifted. They could contour sounds in a way that other people couldn't even understand. Their brain just works it just works differently. It responds differently. I met people that are, artistically gifted. They could take an image in their head. First of all, they can create a beautiful image that tells a story in their head, and they can put it on a piece of paper. They can paint it. They can do all these things that others cannot do. I've met people that are fantastic at communication, breaking things down for others, making it so that others can understand better. They can understand concepts better. I've met people that are athletically gifted where they can move their bodies in ways that others can't do. I just think that people underestimate the blessings that they truly do receive. They get this divine piece of machinery and they use it in a way that doesn't glorify what you have. And when I say divine, you know, a lot of people will come in and be like, oh, it's some mojo, jojo, woo woo type of stuff. And I'm not saying you have to be a spiritualist or deeply rooted in religion to understand what a great blessing it is that you do have. I mean, to even consider that women can give birth to a new life, or if you get a cut, it heals relatively quickly. If you have an idea or a concept in your head, you can make that into a reality using the resources that are here on this earth. There's no real incentive for people to realize these things. So we're a little bit conditioned to stay at the bottom. Stay there. That's where you belong. Let's make everyone pretend like they know what they're doing so they don't secretly feel like they're not living to their best potential or fullest potential. If you have a gift, you have to use it, if you ask me. It doesn't matter whether or not you get financial gain from it or fame or anything like that. You could inspire other people with that same gift to delve into their passion. You could inspire people to change others. Who knows what you're opening Pandora's box here. You just don't know. I mean, with this type of technology comes great responsibility. It really is great responsibility. You've got to use it, or you'll eventually lose it. It's not necessarily that you'll lose it. If you ask me, I think that everyone can always come back. But that connection gets a little bit weaker and weaker. I think I read a quote the other day. It was about a Japanese train. The longer that you are on a train that's going to the wrong destination, the more expensive it is to come back to where you originally were. So the further out you go, the more expensive it is for you to get back. Doesn't mean you can't. It just means it's gonna take more time and it's gonna take more resources to get back, and that's totally okay. So in these situations, what do? I guess the problem is identified, but is there a solution? And I'm coming up to that. One thing you got to realize is you don't want to get caught playing pinball or solitaire or this or that. Don't want to get caught playing someone else's game. Sorry, my dog is distracting me. Getting trinkets or, big pieces of metal that we call valuable, that are cars that can go however fast and however amount of time. The time always gets shorter over time. is not the complete, it's not the epitome of success. It really isn't. And if you're asking me, you want to say a purist, I don't think, I think that the value of a man or woman is not in the things that he has. It's not the things that make the people make the things. That's the beautiful part. It's not the things that make people. I don't think that someone that is completely wealthy financially has more than someone that doesn't have the same financial resources. I think they have the same organs, the same tissue, the same blood, the same mechanism. I mean, yeah, sure, some people have health deficiencies, of course, but if you have a power of mind and ability to direct your body, then I think that you're blessed. You have the same blessings that that other person has. I mean, a lot of it comes down to stepping out of the hierarchy and realizing that there's always something that you could want that someone else has, but that we have the same base level foundation. Of course, we may have come up in different surroundings or circumstances, which might make it harder or easier to get to where we want, per se, but it doesn't change the fact that you still carry the same organisms. You're not some sort of alien that has a deficiency or, you know, um, more than others. You just don't. We are more similar than we think, and we build out this hierarchy to either look up or look down on other people, and it's just not conducive to, it's not conducive to truly bringing out who we are. Being our most authentic self doesn't have anything to do with being better or less than others. It just means being us and respecting other people's experience. So yeah, I don't think that if you have $100 million, I don't think you're any more, you might be able to create more value. You might be able to create ability for other people to get more resources or yourself. But in its essence, I don't think you're more valuable than someone that's impoverished. Here, I do think that if you're a vegetable and you can't think, yeah, I think in that situation, there might be a difference of value because of what your capacity is, but it doesn't really change that's a different story. But financial gain and a higher spot in the hierarchy, a better solitaire player, do not make you any better than other people. In its essence, you are the same. You're not a cyborg that can produce more. You just have maybe you've become a better player at solitaire. And it's not, solitaire is just dumbing it down a bit, honestly, and not giving enough glory to the people that do, put a lot of their heart and soul into what they do. But I do think that if you're playing the game of trying to receive other people's approval, it is, and definitely it is a game that you will never truly be fulfilled. There's always someone else with something better. If you get a Mercedes, there's a Porsche. Now, if you get a Porsche, there's a Lamborghini. If you get a Lamborghini, there's a Bugatti. And if you get a Bugatti, there's someone that is going to go to space. Now, beyond that, I don't really know yet. People don't know, but there's just always something. There's a bigger penthouse. There's a bigger apartment. There's a better computer. There's a cooler Gucci shirt. There's a cooler Gucci belt. All of it, everything. So we've identified some sort of issue here, where people aren't understanding of their true blessings, and they believe themselves to be less than others, which is not a real reverence of their capacity. And so what do we do? We identified the issue. What do we do? How do we clear the RAM? How do we reset the cache? Whatever you want to say. Because at the end of the day, over time, our system, our computer system, if you will, builds up more viruses and faulty programming, faulty belief systems. And if you know much about it doesn't take much to know. You don't have to know much about a computer to understand that the more viruses, the more, unnecessary code, the slower the thing will run. The harder it is to launch certain applications. Not harder, but it takes a longer time. It makes it unenjoyable to use the damn thing. Uh, the best way to do those things is to slow down, is to really delve into your craft, to put in small amounts of time. Strengthen those connections. Remember your gifts. There have probably been times where others have been like, "Damn, you're pretty good at this thing," and you yourself enjoy doing that too. If you enjoy it, you got to keep doing it. You got to try, because if you don't, it's just gonna take longer and longer to rewrite that code. Get into the operating system of things. Realize that your thoughts are completely wired, in a certain way. And if you have a negative thought or a limiting belief or self-doubt, replace it with 5 positive ones. Try to understand that all the limiting beliefs that you might have are just products of years and years of thinking and external reinforcement from others that are also broken. And nothing great in playing small. It doesn't matter if your craft is not refined or perfect. What matters is that you are working towards something better. You're aiming upwards. Meditation is another great way to slow down the stimulation of the thinking, really. Or sorry, the response to stimulation, and slow down those thought patterns, so you can really dissect. You can really get in between the thoughts and, okay, why do I always think this certain thing about myself? It doesn't, yeah, sure, I might have not been the best in the past about this particular thing, but it's the self-hatred is leading me down the same path always. So you need to reset these programs. We need to get out of these comfort zones, these addictions maybe, and these things that lead us down the same neural pathways. We need to find a way to reset them. We need to reset the RAM. We need to make sure that the system is running a little bit more efficiently. If we want to do something, if we have a task, which is our prefrontal cortex is what helps us get through to delayed gratification. If we have a task, and get it done. Do it once. By the 20th time, you'll be much better. By the 40th time, you'll be great. By the 100th time, you'll be fantastic. And by the 300th time, it'll be like nothing. It'll run so fast that you're not, it'll be running in the background. It will be so easy. So yeah, we need to make a conscious effort to not only realize the blessings that we do possess, the great instrument that we've been given, the ability to create as opposed to destroy others or destroy, consistently consume, and realize that we have a capacity to build. We should be building others up. We should be building ourselves up. We don't have to live a life of consumption to create the illusion that we're truly living. Consuming what others have created is a fantastic way to profit. Or sorry, consuming what others have created is a fantastic way to use your own energy and time as currency to live a mindless life. I could care less if you have a bunch of things. The person's principle, their character, these are the things that should be valued above all. Trust between people. People are a lot more valuable than money. People are a lot more valuable than things. People are a lot more valuable. The gestures that people have towards each other, the care, the compassion, the understanding, the love for humanity. There's no reason to get caught up in a cycle where you're trying to assert a higher position in the hierarchy to let everyone know that you are of value. You are already of value. You have always been of value since the day you were born. People tend to forget these things, and I think it's really important to remind yourselves of how blessed you are. Thank you.